Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, whatever time it is in your hood. I am absolutely Adia.
And I am the franchise.
And this is the Quad.
The Quad, we in the building. We have a guest today.
Yes,
Of course, we can't forget we got Spider Engineer, Super Engineer on the boards.
Yes,
we have
Lord.
Brandi in the building today. Brandi.
Hey.
Brandi the Food. What is it? Brandi's Foodie Diary on Instagram. Is that on any other platforms as well?
On Instagram and Facebook, Brandi's Foodie Diary. On Twitter, Brandi's Diary. Brandi with the I.
We will make sure that we have that tagged in our post. So Brandi, she comes to us. She is a full-time teacher and part-time foodie, which is what I really love, with a goal of highlighting women and minority-owned businesses. Passion is to connecting the community, the businesses they may have otherwise not known about, and connecting businesses with brands with each other. Businesses and brands with each other. Recently started a venture called the Cocoa Initiative to encourage group economics and show the collectively our cash opens avenues, and that is an acronym if you're paying attention. Mm-hmm. We were just talking about Kwanzaa, weren't we?
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Collective. Look, well, hold on a second.
Chocolate.
Cooperative economics is what I was thinking about. Cooperative
okay.
economics, and I think that kind of flows into your initiative here. So I can't wait to kind of get into that. But so welcome, Brandi.
Thank you.
Brandi's in the building. We just popped the podcast cherry. This is her first time being on a podcast.
Oh,
Yes,
really?
it is.
Which I was
My
very
first time.
I'm
yes.
surprised because you're very active on social media.
I am.
You have you post a lot. I'm always following you and seeing what's going on with the food because I have this kind
He's
of
so greedy. so greedy.
It's okay.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
okay.
Well, I could admit I do like food.
Me
so
too.
When we met at the Ujamaa Festival
Yes.
event.
Okay.
That was fun. But then I started following you. I was like, oh, she's a foodie.
Yes.
How nice. So I follow you everywhere you go with the different foods and the different ventures and things like that. So what I'm curious about is, of course, the story that everybody wants to know is, where did all this foodie diary stuff begin?
So that's interesting. When I very first got started as a blogger, it was very much accidental.
Okay.
So when I first graduated from college, well, not when I first graduated, but a few years after, I just wanted to go out and explore all these different places, but I was always going out by myself.
Okay.
So one day I was like, you know what? I don't want to go by myself. I want to go with other people. And so I put on Instagram a post and it said Dallas Foodies Meetup. Now, in my head, I'm thinking just other people in Dallas that like food.
Right.
Hey, come meet up with me at this place.
Right.
And so when I put it out there, people started, I did like a whole Eventbrite and everything because I wanted to know how many people would come so I could make a reservation.
Mm-hmm.
So then we show up and the people who are there are actual bloggers, PR companies, and things like that. So they're looking at me like I just put together some type of media event.
Yeah. Right.
And so I get there and the people are like, all right, so at the end of it, like, what are we doing here? Like, I guess trying to see if this was like a comp thing or something. And I was like, oh, we just
Came to eat.
we just
and pay
came
for
to eat. I was
ourselves.
right.
Hey, we Dutch. We going Dutch
like,
up in here.
I'm just so happy.
That is hilarious.
But from that meeting, like my friends India and Krista from the Eats blog were there.
Mm-hmm.
Another friend of mine, Vicky, she works for a PR company. She was there. And so there were other people there as well. I was able to make connections unknowingly with people who actually blog. And then it just turned into an actual blog from there. That's kind of how it got started, accidentally.
Wow. And, some of the most beautiful stories
Absolutely.
happen accidentally.
When he sent your stuff over, I was like, I'm already following her. Girl, I'm not a foodie. I'm just greedy too. But I like to eat. Well, I guess growing up in New Orleans, like when Keyshawn was here, and he talked about, we have vast palates.
Mm-hmm.
You grow up, you taste all this different kind of stuff. We eat a little bit of everything. So I follow a lot of the food blogs here because we're not from here. One of the things I love about Dallas is that no matter which part you're in, there's so many great places to eat. It's so many different types of food and types of things. So I have two daughters and we have fun. We go to different places, dessert places, sometimes. and I saw this post of the $16 slice of cake. And I remember this post because when I saw it and I looked at it the first time, I was like, "Ooh, that looked good." And then when I read it, I was like, "Wait, say what?"
So I usually try to keep my posts positive, but I also, so one of the reasons why I also decided to get into blogging seriously is because I was following all these other foodies and they would post these places and they would make it sound and look so good. And then I would go and I would spend my money and I would be like, this is not even good.
Really?
Like, why am I spending my money? So I didn't want to be one of those people that would mislead people. If I post something and I'm saying this is good, it's because I really think it's good. It's not because I'm working with these people and I'm just posting it out of obligation. If I say it's good, like I really think it's good. So that particular place is a really popular place. It's like renowned around the world.
Really?
And so when I went to get this, I'm expecting, you to rise to the occasion. And it was my birthday. This is like my birthday cake and stuff.
Right.
And so I have been literally stalking this cake for a long time.
That's the worst. And then you get in and it's not.
It did not meet up. Now, for somebody else and their palate, it may be good. But
Put
for
that
me,
disclaimer out.
It wasn't my style.
So how do you deal with that when if you go somewhere? So when you were looking at places, once you started blogging and then you go there and then you don't like the food.
I usually just don't post about it.
Okay.
And I just try to keep my posts places that I know are good because I want to lead people in the right direction. So places that I know are good and that have good service, because if you follow me for a while, you know that I am big on good service.
Customer service.
I have a
Good
question
customer
for you.
service.
There's a really popular place in New Orleans. It's Black owned. It's simple food. I've heard people. I had one of those situations where everybody posted and they make it look great and they talk about it. And so me and my kids went, and it's expensive. We went and got like wings and stuff like that. And spent like $70 on wings, drinks, fries. Girl, the worst wings I ever had. But the service was great.
Good.
The people are great. They thought I guess we're from Dallas, because I think one of the people asked the kids like where they were from, and they said Dallas. They were really, really nice. Like gave us history about the city and stuff. And I was like, I feel bad
because your food is trash, but the service is good. So they at least get some stars for the service.
Yeah, so it's like I had a moment like you're saying, like you want to post it, and then you're like,
well, I have a question about that, because this is what I wonder. Like, even in your position, or just someone who is a foodie, like, first of all, let's define what a foodie is. What is a foodie?
Please.
Someone who likes food.
Just someone who likes food.
Yeah.
Okay, really? Yeah. I thought it had to be some type of...
a little technical, right?
Yeah.
But I mean, no, there's an
Someone
aspect.
likes
You like
okay,
food.
so no, I feel like
It's a
you
little more
gotta
than
have a little more defined, because if you only
you're an
ate like
influencer-
burgers and fries and stuff, then I don't trust your judgment.
Well, no. Someone who likes a plethora.
There we go.
there we go.
A vast palette.
Yes.
There we go.
Okay, so in situations like that you're in, you know what I mean? Because I would consider myself a foodie too. I like food. The position that you're in, you are, I would say you're also an influencer, right? So you're
Indeed.
an influencer, and you're a foodie, you're an influencer. So you go somewhere, and what you like to do is keep it positive and post if you like the food. If you don't like the food, have you ever been in, you can answer this as well. Have you ever been in a situation where you actually talk to them about anything, any suggestions, and hey, this is what I do. I would love to post about your food and your service. But have you ever been in a situation like that where you actually approach somebody?
I have. Right now, I'm wanting to start my own business. And so as I'm getting closer to creating the plan for starting my business, it has made me consider things in a different light. And so especially if something is like a small business, first generation business, I know that if I walk in and have a certain experience, chances are other people are as well.
Right.
And the only way that business can get better is if they know what it is that they're doing that needs to be improved. So I believe that if I go somewhere and the food is not up to par, the service is not up to par, I'm going to tell them. There are places that I've been to that I know the owners, become friends with them. And so when I go and that owner is not present and the worker doesn't necessarily know who I am, they're representing the business in a way that I know that owner is not going to like and appreciate.
Right.
And I will ask to speak to the manager that's present or just go back to whoever that owner is. And I have gone and told them, look, I was just inside this place. That person was rude. They were doing this, they were doing that. Or the food was, this, and I know that's not what you serve, because I want them to have the opportunity to fix it.
Right.
So that they
could
can.
be successful.
Right.
See, we were just talking about that. And I was saying that we are hard on ourselves. And it can be argued that we're too hard on ourselves. But so do you feel that, like, just like in that instance, if it's a black business, if it's a new business, if it's a small business, do you feel like you should be more lenient?
No, because they're out here competing with other people that aren't all black businesses. So you need to rise to the level. And we need to show people that we are capable of running businesses and having them be on par with all these other people who are having businesses. I'm going to go hard on you because you represent me. And so I need people to just know that we're able to rise to the occasion.
Okay.
And I agree with that 100%. And I've been in situations also with businesses, like local businesses that just happen to be black owned as well. And I think maybe for me, I have to admit that if it's a black owned business, I probably a little bit more, I don't want to say I critique it more, but I'm paying more attention. I'm more observant. So I was in a situation where I'd been to this particular restaurant. I know the owner. I went there for some service, and I won't say the name of the business because we're not talking about something positive. But there were some. First of all, he hires a lot of young people, like high school kids and stuff like that. So when the service and the behavior just wasn't, to me, conducive of a welcoming environment and a professional environment. Now I know we're working with kids, but I felt like I needed to talk to these kids. Like, listen, I'm right now. I'm just a patron. I'm coming in here. I'm trying to get some food, and the conversations that y'all are having, I can hear it. The way that you're displaying yourself. Like, I felt like it was not, because I work with young people too. So I just felt like in my position, if I walked out of there, I would have felt like I didn't do my duties as an individual who believes in kids, who tries to pour into kids and things like that. And at the same time, they weren't representing this business in a way that I know the owner wants this business to be represented. So I was like, yo, let me holler at y'all for a second, because I know if the owner was in here, these shenanigans wouldn't be taking place. So what you need to learn at a young age is that, a little bit of integrity. You're at a job, you're representing this company, they're paying you a wage. You need to perform at a certain level and a certain level of expectation, even when your owner's not in the building. Right. Like, and it was an important conversation I felt like I needed to have. I know they wasn't trying to hear it, but I was like, yo, you gonna have this conversation, and then I'm gonna holler at your owner. You know what I'm saying, when he get back. Straighten up. There's people around.
No, I agree. I definitely think it's important. I think customer service takes you far.
Yes, it
does. But the food is what we come for. So
yeah, most definitely.
If the food isn't right. So take us through your schedule. How do you figure out where you're going? What do you go by foods? Do you just wing it?
Well, I work with different PR companies, and so there's always a media event going on. So that's basically how my schedule goes. When they send out the invites to certain events, I see which ones I can do, and then you'll end up seeing me post about it later.
Okay.
Very good.
Yeah.
Very
Any
good.
favorites that you like in the area?
Oh my goodness. Like, there are so many. I just left Shells and Tails to go. So
that's from home.
You've been there.
Yeah, I love them.
Yes,
yeah,
I
good
love
guy, good people.
You definitely. He's one of my favorites. So he sells crawfish.
Yeah.
crab legs, all of the above.
Yeah, turkey necks. We
Turkey
got a little bit of
necks.
everything from over there. Yeah, the girls love him too.
Yes, his rum cakes. What the person that he gets the rum cakes from, those are really
I
great.
never had the rum cake.
Girl, you gotta
Pulling out.
next time. You gotta
And
get
he
your rum
sells out
cake.
super fast. He comes
does.
up. We were in Louisville, and he doesn't come that far, but they were going to like Savannah, up way up north, and we went up there. But when he's like in Dallas, they sell out super fast.
Yes, they do.
Super fast.
So they have a brick and mortar, or is it a?
Not yet.
No,
Okay,
it's
so they just got a food truck,
like a
right?
food truck. Yeah, they
But
travel.
be on the lookout.
Okay, no, yeah, for real, because I
Yeah.
was just, I was at the Doughboys Donuts. Shout out to Doughboys
okay.
Donuts in Fort Worth, Texas. But they started out also. They had
The truck.
the
yeah.
truck, and now they got a brick and mortar, and and I think that's the positivity of or the benefit of like social media, because I don't want to say it was me, but I recently started seeing more about them. I think they told me they've been there since August. But like say in the last couple of weeks, I've been seeing like more and more and more about them. And I know I went over there and reposted a couple of things, and they were saying that like in the last month or two, like they just been bombarded with people.
That's how we found Jermaine. Them. I think I literally put in the hashtags on Instagram like crawfish, Dallas crawfish or something, and they popped up because a lot of the places that we had gone do this. I guess it's a Texas thing where they put like the seasoning on the outside, and it's not. And crawfish is all about like being soaked in the juices, and it's not. It's just like all this like greasy, like I don't know, garlic something on the outside.
Oh yeah.
So we were looking for like Louisiana style boiled, yeah. And that was how we found him.
Nice.
On the and then started going, and the food was just amazing.
Amazing.
Yes.
That's always good because you're actually from New Orleans, and to have be in Dallas and be able to get some food that reminds you of home. That's beautiful.
Yeah.
Good for you. I'm still looking for somebody that.
What's your specialty? Like,
it's a seafood thing. You know
is
what I
it?
mean? Yeah, seafood, lobster. You know what I mean?
You're looking for somebody that does what?
No. I'm just saying, just because
He's
I'm from
from-
Rhode Island. I'm from Rhode
okay.
Island. It's an ocean state, so it's
Okay.
like major seafood, and
Yeah,
then there's a
yeah.
lot of Italians, a lot of pizza.
Hmm.
So like I really love pizza. So matter of fact, I was
Do
going.
you?
Yeah, I love pizza. I was going somewhere else yesterday to have happy hour with one of my homies, and I rode by a place in Arlington that said it's like Chicago something, right? And so me and the fam was in Chicago last year.
like the deep dish.
Yeah. I was
it
like,
takes like an
hold on a
hour
second.
to cook.
It takes a minute.
Mhm.
So I went in there and I was like, yo, what's going on? And it just so happened I walked in there, as you see all these black people. I'm like, yo, what's going on?
What place was that?
Oh, it was
It's-
black owned?
It wasn't black owned, but it's just not for
okay.
black people in there.
I was like, where is
Yeah,
it? We going?
It's,
We
it's,
about to
it's
go
right.
right now.
Matter of fact, it's in Arlington next to Papados, where Black Red Hot and Blue used to be. I don't know if
Is it just called Chicago?
it's good. Nah, it's like, man, don't get me the lying, man. But it's like Chicago. I think it's like Chicago pizza.
yeah, that's a dope spot.
But there's one in Chicago.
Yeah, there's one.
Chicago
There's
Oh,
Sun.
really?
Yeah,
There's one in
it's a
Dallas, one
chain.
in Mesquite. They're all over the place.
Okay. So yeah. Anyway, pizza.
Hmm.
But yeah, my thing is seafood. My thing is
Okay.
seafood. So lobster. I'm used to
But your
restaurants on the
seafood
water.
is different from ours.
That's what I'm
Right.
saying. That's
Yeah.
what I'm saying.
Yeah.
But I tell you this, I went to Gloria's, or my wife went to Gloria's, and they have a seafood soup. Seafood soup that got like scallops in it, lobster tails. You know
Why
what
are
I'm
you looking
saying?
like that?
I just appreciate that they call it seafood soup and not gumbo, because
Nah,
people
it's
be
seafood
doing
soup.
crazy stuff and be like, "Oh, we got gumbo," and I'm
Gumbo.
like, "No,
Yeah.
y'all don't."
See, no, this seafood soup. Seafood
Yeah.
soup.
I love scallops though.
Yeah,
You
yeah,
know,
it's good
that's-
Yes.
stuff.
So, what has been okay? So you can't name a favorite here.
Like Shells and Tails to Go is one of my favorites.
Okay.
Bakeries, Cookie Haven is one of my
Ooh.
favorites. Have you
Ooh.
been there?
No. I just love cookies.
Oh, you gotta go
Where
there.
is
Oh my
that?
God.
Like, I'm
Cookie
really a fat
Haven.
boy. I'm really a
Cookie
fat boy.
Haven?
They
It's
opened
in
one of
Dallas?
those. They
It's in
opened
the
one of those
Bishop
next to
Arts.
my house.
Look, his ass
Cookie-
know where.
Cookie Haven.
Oh, I know where that shit
All
is.
of everything you
not
said, he be like,
It's
"Yeah."
one location. You live in
Cookie
Bishop
Haven?
Arts.
No, not anymore.
Oh, it's in Bishop Arts. It's right
Cookie
by
Haven?
yes,
I'm gonna look
with a
it up.
K.
Mm.
Cookie Haven.
Cookie.
It's on Jefferson, I believe.
Mm.
What
But they
makes them
sell-
special?
Oh my goodness, you just gotta taste it. It is so good. It's so moist and fluffy. All the flavors.
Chocolate chip cookies.
They have cookies and cake. I go for the cake.
Oh, I see the cake.
The cookies are really good, but that cake is some of the best
Have you
cake
tried
in Dallas.
Val's cheesecake?
I love Val.
Their stuff always looks amazing. They just
Val-
opened one in Fort Worth.
Did they
Yes.
really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Val
And that's
is-
black owned.
Okay.
The guy who owns it, talking about customer service, the way that I met him, this was years ago before he had any brick and mortar. This is when he was cooking cheesecakes out of a church. He would sell his cakes in local restaurants. And so I went and I got a slice of his cheesecake and I posted it on Instagram. He direct messages me and he was like, "Can you give me a call? I noticed your picture that you posted." So I called him and he asked me, how was the cheesecake? Was it good? He was like, just when you posted the picture, I noticed that the presentation wasn't the presentation I really wanted. And so he invited me to come and get some more cheesecake, which has nothing to do with him. The restaurant just presents it how they present it. But I just appreciated him taking the time out to personally contact me, ask me how it was, and then invite me to come get it the way he wants it to
Present
actually
it.
be. Yeah,
That's
Very
awesome.
nice.
that's the type of person he is. He is amazing.
Oh, we got a
That's
lot
beautiful.
more to get into.
We
with
got a
this
whole
food.
lot more to get into it because I was looking at the time like,
I know. I just looked up. I was like, wait, when we ran out of time. All right, we're going to take a quick commercial break and we'll be right back.